All right, then we will get started. So, hello everyone. A pleasure to host this panel at Wanxiang Blockchain Conference. And I'm Yi Tang from Qiming Venture Partners. We are one of the leading venture capital firms in China, and we are interested in this topic in general. Today, we have a very great lineup of panelists. So we have people from startups, we have people from internet tech giants, and we have a lot of experienced investors. We also have two panelists from the Metaverse, two who's kind of dialing from online. So we'll get started like right now. So to start this topic, so I guess Metaverse is a very broad idea and topic, right? So I would love to hear each panelist to talk about your definition of Metaverse. And of course, please introduce yourself and what you do and how it relates to the Metaverse that you define. So starting from you, please. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm Tao Xu. I'm from Microsoft China. My title is technical evangelist. Microsoft is a very frontier who embrace blockchain. So we adopt blockchain in Microsoft products like Xbox, Office, and even our business application. The other side is we are build a very strong blockchain ecosystem. We worked with our partner to provide diversified blockchain solution. We use that kind of solution to empower enterprise to better use blockchain to build blockchain technology to enrich their enterprise application and refresh their business process. So because I just use English to introduce myself, because I have to follow my company PR policy, I will use Chinese in the following conversation. Thank you.
Hi, hello everyone. My name is Jun. I'm from ANT Capital. I jumped into the investment field in the blockchain and crypto from the 2017 to 2018, from the last wave of the bull market. And before that, I have around 10 years of internet investment experience. Our fund is a US dollar VC fund focusing on blockchain investment, such as DeFi, NFT infrastructure, and also including Metaverse. For my understanding about Metaverse, you can see this word composed by meta and verse. So my understanding is that it's like another university, another world, like a digital twin of the real world, but not exactly the same of the real world. It can be integrate or have the exchange, value exchange, etc. from between the virtual world and the real world. But it could be many new things happen, evolving on this virtual world, especially on the basis of blockchain. So yeah, this is a very exciting experience to look at the investment opportunity. As I said, for the past around 10 years of the internet investment experience, I have this kind of exciting experience like the feeling right now. Yeah.
Hi everyone. My name is Harry, and I'm from Project Galaxy. So at Project Galaxy, we're basically building the permissionless infrastructure that powers on-chain and off-chain credentials. So by credential data, we mean that, so for example, your contribution to a DAO, or maybe the fact that you provided LP value onto a project, or you have a great Twitter following on Twitter. So all of these contribution data, or we can call it maybe reputation data, is very valuable, right? So basically, we are building the infrastructure for everyone to help us to curate credential, and also for project to use these credentials and maybe use them to launch like NFT campaigns, and maybe growth hacking campaigns, and maybe like some customized voting strategies. So in the long term, we think this can be a very important infrastructure for the metaverse because we're basically building the DID using on-chain and off-chain data. And I guess my take for the metaverse is pretty general. So I think metaverse is a collection of permissionless dApps that's built in the Web3. So we think it's very important to have the same infrastructure to power all type of apps. So for example, the payment infrastructure, maybe the ID infrastructure, and all the credential infrastructure. So yeah.
So for online, we can start from Ke.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ke, a managing partner of SNZ. Thank you very much for having me here. To me, Metaverse is a really big scope to define. So it is inclusive and that it can cover basically everything you can think of, as I can say. So here I want to refer to the presentation that Dr. Xiaofeng, president of Wanxiang Blockchain, once made in this summer. Metaverse, the next generation network. He divided the Metaverse into 3 different stages and 6 layers. It is actually one of the best deconstruction of Metaverse I've ever seen. So, but here I would like to share a very different angle to the Metaverse. So the question is, what are the fundamental blocks instead of we are defining the Metaverse, right? So, which means without which it is going to be, is not going to be a Metaverse. What I can think is 3 major points. The first one is the identity, or in Metaverse, we can call it an avatar, right? So the second one is economics. The third one, immersive experience. So this list can keep going. I may expand a little bit more on the identity here. So in real life, we define ourselves through the interactions and also the relationships with the people surrounding us, our family, friends, and also colleagues. Due to the reality of life, we don't have a chance to reconstruct who you were in the past. There's barely any way you can live a different life or to be a different person. But in Metaverse, I think it gives us an opportunity to rebuild a different identity or identities without these constraints. It can be a multiverse running parallelly with our world, I think. It can be considered as even a social or spiritual upgrade of humanity, comparable to the interplanetary immigration, which is a physical extension of humanity, what SpaceX is now doing, right? So at the end of the day, I think a Metaverse is still a way to satisfy people's basic needs, but facilitated by technologies, I mean. So while this is well aligned with my personal vision and also SNZ's vision as an investor fund, yeah, that's my my thoughts.
Thanks. Kendrick?
Hi, everyone. And a pleasure to be here and an honor to be part of this distinguished panel. I'm Ken Nguyen, Kendrick Nguyen, founder and CEO of Republic. So Republic is a leading financial technology and investment firm with over 1.5 million users and over $1 billion under asset management. We are also a leading digital investment bank and a leader in metaverse innovation, development, and investment. More specifically, under the brand Republic realm, we are among the most active investor and developers of metaverse NFTs in the world. You know, we're actually backed by Binance, Galaxy Digital, and Prosus, which owns a very large part and an early backer of Tencent. But more importantly, we're a proud portfolio of SNZ. But again, a pleasure to be here. And on the question of metaverse, I obviously agree with all the panelists. But you know, just to sum it up on my end, metaverse is an alternate reality, a digital reality, right, where people socialize and work and play. And I think the blockchain component really help bridges the gap between the digital and the physical worlds on the one hand, and provide a sort of decentralized governance that mimics much more real life world, and just excited to dive in on the conversation today.
All right, thanks everyone. Glad to hear your definition of metaverse. So I guess as we all agree, it's a very broad and diverse topic to talk about metaverse. For the topic of our conference, since we have a blockchain focus, right? So I guess my second question to you all is, what kind of role blockchain or crypto plays regarding metaverse, and how significant it is to the vision of metaverse? We can perhaps start from Harry, since you touch a little bit on credentials and permissionless systems.
Yeah, so I think blockchain plays a very important role in the metaverse, simply because we need a single infrastructure for like maybe the login and the payment system and also the credentials, right? So a big problem in Web 2 is that all of these data source or all of these infrastructure are really segregated. So for example, we have the payment system in WeChat, we have the payment system in Alipay, and you can't really transfer money between Alipay and WeChat without going through a bank. So my definition of the metaverse really is a set of permissionless apps so that each application can interact with each other in a very permissionless way. So by that, it's very important for the blockchain to come in and play the infrastructure role for everyone to have the same login system, same identity, and also the same payment system. And we're actually launching a product soon called Galaxy ID, which bridges everything you did on the blockchain in a multi-chain format so that you can have this single login system within all the apps. So yeah, so I guess because of that, blockchain plays a huge role in the system.
Harry, so I guess since you work in the field of NFT, right? So I guess a follow-up question to what you have said is, what is NFT to metaverse from your perspective? Like, how do we understand it from a metaverse point of view?
I guess NFT is a very special standard for people to maybe access assets on-chain. So I don't really see NFT only as JPEGs. I think NFT can play a huge role in all these applications. For example, it can represent your credit score. It can represent your background. I think NFT can be more general than just pure images. So my vision for the metaverse is that we will see more applications around NFT so that these NFT have maybe more utility, so that you can use these NFT to actually do stuff instead of showing them on your profile pictures.
Got it, thanks.
Yeah, in my view, blockchain is the must for metaverse. Without a blockchain, I don't think the metaverse can real existence. For example, let's talk about a popular movie this year, Free Guys. You can, maybe someone have watched this movie. In the end, a centralized gaming company just want to stop the game that is a metaverse, stop another, kind of like a real world. Imagine in the future, many people spend maybe more than half of their time and energy in the virtual world. They spend so much time and energy in this, they make money in the metaverse. But if a centralized company can stop or take over the asset of the individual users, that is really, really hard to imagine. It's a very horrible thing, right? It's not just about the money, not just about assets. It's about maybe half of their lives, right? For we all know that blockchain is in the first time for internet user can control and really own their assets, right? This is the first time thing. So based on the blockchain, the metaverse, everyone can control, fully own their assets. So this is a problem of the personal assets, or the right of the ownership. Yeah, so I'm a big believer in this part.
谢谢啊，这个其实特别感谢主办方，因为我要遵守公司的 policy 啊，我就后面的回答问题只能用中文了啊。那我分享一些我们微软的一种实践的观点啊。其实我们在谈到 Metaverse 的时候，很多是站在一种 individual 或者 consumer 的视角在看这个 Metaverse， 但其实我们在微软，我们有很大的一部分的 Metaverse 都是在跟企业去做应用。啊，就是你想，如果你是一个企业，您是个制造业企业，您是个零售行业的企业，那 Metaverse 跟你会是一个什么样的一种场景去拥抱它啊？那第二呢，在这个企业的我们叫 Enterprise Metaverse 里头，那 Blockchain 会起到一个什么样的 role 呢？啊，那其实我们在跟企业在做的时候，其实你会发现企业要比消费者走的会更慢一点啊。那在慢一点的时候，你再回到企业里头，企业拥抱所有的新技术，它要解决的是一个生产力的问题 （productivity） 啊。当我在解决生产力的问题的时候，那我们在看到所有企业里头，它其实是要完成。如果我们还用一种虚拟世界或者现实世界一种视角去分析企业元宇宙的时候，那它其实没有像我们 individual 感知的那么的。绝对，我的绝对是说，要么在一个物理世界，要么在一个虚拟世界。但是我们在做 Enterprise Metaverse 的时候，我们其实是一个跟物理世界、跟虚拟世界是要持续联动的过程啊。所以有时候我们可以叫它叫数字孪生啊，叫 Digital Twins。那在这个里头，其实你在看企业里头，它这个整个的在它的元宇宙的过程中，数据啊、身份啊，这些都是存在的。而且数据是它在整个这个闭环里头非常核心的一部分的这个燃料啊，或者说是一种生产要素。那在这个时候，你会发现在企业里头，它所有的生产要素是由不同的 IT 供应商来提供的。那 IT 供应商之间是需要构建一种共识，因为你的数据应该怎么使用，它要不要去做必要的一样的确权，形成一种资产啊，甚至我可以去完成业务部门的数据的分享啊。那其实这时候区块链是非常好有价值的一个，刚好去构建一种在这种新兴的 Enterprise Metaverse 这样一个场景里头，我可以用区块链的技术很好的去构建一种共信的产业互联的一种基石啊。这是我们其实在微软我们自己在 Enterprise Metaverse 里头更多的看到区块链带来的非常有价值的地方啊。谢谢。
Thanks. All right, for the online part, we'll start from Kendrick this time. Thank you.
Yes, I mean, at the end of the day, it's a fundamental question of ownership and autonomy, like many of the panelists have touched on. You know, do you want a corporation determining the value of your digital assets, or do you want to control your earnings and have input in the fate of the platform? And I think blockchain-based metaverses allow for true creator economies to thrive. It enable the distribution of ownership and value, you know, through tokens to the users. And metaverse is not built on the blockchain, have centralized governance and full ownership of the platform. So from Axie Infinity to, you know, Roblox, I think it highlights the crucial role of blockchain within metaverses and what it can be, bridging that world between the digital world and reality, in my opinion.
Thanks. Ke?
Okay, I will start with like still 3 points. The first one is I think metaverse will be an universal and permissionless world. Second, it is still going to be driven by humanity. And the third one, the fundamental principle for humanity will still be functioning, but maybe at a different level and in a different way. So we mentioned previously, other panelists mentioned the ownership of assets. This is one of the fundamental things we have to solve in the real world, right? So I think under this framework, the economic system is a necessary part. So we are going to have personal wealth, no matter what, and assets in the metaverse. Well, as you can imagine, the whole blockchain world and the crypto ecosystem is somewhat like purposely designed for it, right? There's no such government or organization, even the United Nations nowadays, so far can replace or execute a global monetary policy, which can be accepted by people living in this planet. But actually, Bitcoin and the Ethereum did it. Maker and many other projects are still doing it. So I think blockchain crypto ecosystem is the best fit for this purpose. That's my point.
Thank you, Ke. Yeah, so thanks for all the answers. So I think we all agree on that blockchain and crypto kind of plays different levels, important roles in terms of metaverse from both consumer or 2C perspective and enterprise or 2B perspective. And I want to thank Ke for kind of set the background for the next questions. So my next question is more from I guess, a consumer point of view. So we have all watched a lot of movies that touches on metaverse. So for example, Ready Player One. And for normal person, you would think metaverse as a immersive experience, right? So you feel that you are in a different world. And the graphics is really cool and it's really nice, and you don't even know which is reality, right? So that's a perspective, that's some people's perspective of metaverse. But others argue that it's not that important from a graphic point of view. It's the identity, the ownership, and the economy is of more importance. So from an investor point of view, I want to think about the roadmap or the path to metaverse, right? And we have projects with great graphics, very immersive experience, but they don't have identity, they don't have ownership, they don't have economy. So think this more like a very top tier games, right? And we also have projects with pretty shitty graphics, and you don't really get that sense of immersion. However, they have the ownership. They are building on blockchains, and they have digital ownership and economy. So I want to get your perspective on the path or what kind of projects you would prefer to build towards the real metaverse. We can start from Tori.
谢谢。我觉得其实这个问题是一个特别好的一个值得大家去讨论的话题啊，就是我们任何的一种新的技术，那其实我觉得我今天更多的在扮演一种企业的perspective 啊，那从这个视角来看啊，我们其实更多的其实在关注说我们怎么样让企业也好，或者哪怕企业里的个人，他能很快的一种高效的、低成本的开始去接受一种新技术带来的一种新兴的生产力或者一种新兴的场景啊，所以那其实刚才我们这两个，其实从我们大部分的这个实践来说啊，我们能看到是说，如果我们能在早期去先把一些像这个企业里头约束的地方，比如说身份啊、认证啊，因为如果在一个企业里头，他对这个身份的认证、使用的数据的使用会要求更严格啊，那所以我们能看到，如果我们想在一个 enterprise 的市场里头，更好的去推进 blockchain 和 Metaverse 这样的场景的落地，甚至微软我们自己有一个叫 Mixed Reality， 我们叫这个 HoloLens 的一个产品，它其实是一个很早期的一种接近于这个很多人呢把它看成是一种 Metaverse， 甚至消费者的跟企业的一种边界的地方。那我们在推进这样的技术，在企业或者一些人接受的时候，我们更建议的是从视角是说，你怎么快速的构建一种体验啊？那种体验的目的是为了让每一个人能真正的去 接受到它、体验到它、感受到这种区块链技术或者元宇宙的这种新兴的场景带给你的一种冲击是什么啊？给你带来的这种体验是什么？那其实，在企业里头，我们更进一步的是说，我们要看这种新的技术怎么跟企业现有的业务流程啊，你的业务系统去做结合，能帮着企业可以更好的去产生更多的 business 啊。那这个时候，早期的这种体验的验证往往会更重要啊。当我们把这种早期的验证以后，我们才会进到后一步去考虑说，我怎么去构建一些 ID 啊，这个 ownership 啊这样的一些系统。这样的一些更底层的身份的 identity 的系统上啊，这是我们从企业的就 to B 的市场，我们的一种非常好的一种实践。
So I guess from Tori's point of view, especially in the end market, its experience comes first, then it's a foundation layer for identity.
Experience is first, foundation is second.
Got it. Thanks. Jing.
From my point of view, for Metaverse, the sense of immersion is very, very important. It's a top one priority. But immersion can include both sectors. First of all, it may or may not be through AI or AR or VR. It could be better. This is one part, but another part, the systemic economy design is also very important. It also can be a fact to the users' sense of immersion. So I think this two sides are both the building blocks. Besides, and based on these 2 points, and many other sectors from our point of view for the investment, a lot of opportunities. All right. So besides from AR, VR technology, the better systemic ecosystem, the economic design, a better 3D engine. Those are all the areas we are looking at.
Got it. So both are important from your perspective. Okay, Harry then.
From my perspective, I do agree. The overall, I guess the user experience is very important. But I guess from the patterns that we are seeing right now, we are seeing these decentralized asset ownership. They are coming in first. So I guess it's going to take a long time for a great immersive experience game or a great user experience to come in with a fully decentralized way. So what that means, we are seeing all these gaming companies coming in to the NFT market because this is the first thing that they can achieve at this level. And because we are not seeing the overall throughput breakthrough, we are not going to get a full immersive game that's built on top of the Web3 world very soon. So I guess that's my answer to the question.
So you think set the foundation first, then go to the immersive experience?
Right.
Okay. All right. So for online part, Ke, you can start first. Thanks.
Okay. It depends really on how do you count the digital immersive experience, right? If you count like a 3D glasses was one, then this is really early. So my point is digital immersive experience is a must, but it can be developed progressively and simultaneously with the economic systems. I think previously they mentioned the VR and the AR. I think those are maybe very first step. I'm more looking to a long run. If you follow up closely, recently with the news that Google and also Elon Musk, Google have a Star9 project and using a hologram to reconstruct the 3D video call scene, right? The Neuralink from Elon Musk, they built in a brain and the computer interface, while the brain and the computer interface, if successful, I think this will uplift the immersive experience into entirely different level. So one of the big milestones I can think of in the progress of Metaverse in the next 10 to 20 years will be the maturing of the brain and the computer interface, and also the general quantum computers. I think that's the major thing. As you know, we are facing a dilemma in between the limited resources and the more human, like demanding. I think this parallel world as a metaverse or a multi-world may be the best way to solve this problem. You can buy a Lambo, you can buy a jet, and you can buy a mansion in the virtual world. This also could be another angle to watch the movie Ready Player One. To me, I think both are very basic building blocks for the metaverse. Yeah.
Thanks. Kendrick?
Yes, I'll keep this one short because I'm in agreement with, most of the panelists that both are equally important and I think are tantamount to blockchain metaverses to succeed, right? The crypto community right now is growing, but still pretty small. To bring the metaverse to mainstream adoption, I think we need to communicate why it offers a more equitable and profitable platform for users while providing an immersive experience that's very compelling. So I think the larger issue right now is developing intuitive UI designs for blockchain application and reducing the friction required to become a part of it. Buying crypto and an NFT needs to be as easy as buying things on Alibaba or Amazon, and navigating the virtual metaverse needs to be one day intuitive as walking down the street. I think we're still a long way from it, but we clearly need both the chicken and the egg in this case.
Got it. Thanks, Kendrick. Since you bring up a lot of things can be done to kind of move us forward to the metaverse, right? So I'll start this question with you. So from an investment point of view, because you guys build a platform and you look at different kind of investment opportunities, right? So what kind of near-term investment opportunities you see? What areas are you looking at? So we'll start from you, then to Ke, then to Jun. So I want to get the investment perspective.
Yes, absolutely. And as I mentioned at the outset, Republic is one of the most active investors in this space. I think owning across 17 now different metaverses, including Sandbox and beyond. Our focus has always been and will continue to be on community-oriented projects that integrate blockchain technology into their platforms to offer a new way, a new exciting worldview on online ownership, on virtual economies, on global connectivity. So as of recent, the play to earn gaming space, the Axie Infinity, has demanded our attention with the meteoric rise, and I'm sure a lot of the other investors as well. But I think platforms that lead to a more direct social experience are emerging as well. We dive deep into each platform's individual market nuances to find out what we believe are the best opportunities for us to add value, both to the platform and to the overarching community. But there's no question that community and community engagement the top line focus as we look at different investment opportunities.
Thanks. Ke.
Okay.
Ke,
last year after the DeFi mania, we were discussing the next investment thesis for NFT internally. Sorry, I brought the NFT in so quickly. I think there's some missing between the metaverse and the NFT, but breaking the circle was the words I heard frequently last year. So at the time, the full picture wasn't that clear as today, but we still invest in some of the projects such as Genius for digital avatars, Flow as a platform for releasing digital assets, and Imoca, the game releasing platform, and also Republic for public funding, etc. So currently, we are more focusing on two parts. First is incubating more innovative ideas, and the other one is looking for the tools. In the tools, I mean, maybe it's more same logic as people were selling the tools in the gold rush, right? So I think it includes several aspects, but not limited to. First one is NFT storage and data aggregator. And the second one is financial tools. The third one, identity based on NFT. And the fourth one is the creator platform. So we are branding ourselves as a crypto native, and we really appreciate the value of creativity and originality. So just here, I just want to pass a message to our developers as well. We not only SNZ, I think the other guys here will also agree. Dare to invest in crazy ideas. Most of the time, we thought the BPs we received were not that crazy and sexy enough. The whole metaverse, I think, is built upon imagination. So please don't worry, and we got your back. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, for our fund, in the past half year, we invested more than 20 projects. They are including DeFi, NFT, Web3. Yeah, I think for the reason, the focus, for sure, as we discussed today, Metaverse is a very interesting topic. We are focusing, spend a lot of time and energy in this area, but the Metaverse is, as I mentioned, it's a very broad area. It could including NFT, including the next generation of 3D engine, maybe AI technology, and some new, better token economy design. So this kind of all our major focus recently. Yeah.
Got it. Thanks. All right. Last question is to Harry and Tori. Okay. Since one of you work in startups and one of you work in big tech giants, and I want to get your perspective on what companies can do in terms of Metaverse, what kind of role it plays in terms of building a Metaverse. What's the relationship between companies and Metaverse from your perspective?
From my perspective, I think right now is a really good time for smaller companies to come in and build apps. One of the main reasons for this is we are changing from a permissioned infrastructure to a permissionless one. And because of that, the App Store for Web3 won't require to maybe add like Apple logins, or WeChat won't require to ban like maybe Alipay stuff. So this permissionless nature will encourage everyone to work together instead of banning each other, so that apps can have a better competition environment. And the second reason is, I guess, the paradigm shift from Web 2 to Web 3. So with all these blockchain stuff, with the new login, new payment system, it's a great opportunity for smaller projects to come in and build and take over the larger companies.
那在微软呢，其实我们一直在扮演一个生态的基础设施的这样一个角色。那这里头包括了说我们怎么构建一些更好的工具链 ，to chains， 帮助像 startups 也好，或者一些其他的我们的合作伙伴也好，它可以把这些新的基于区块链的很好的技术真正把它转移到企业的各种各样的应用场景里头。even 我们叫 enterprise metaverse。那我们其实在这个生态里头，我们也能看到我们有很多的生态伙伴也获得了非常好的成长他们已经得到了 A 轮、B 轮的一些很好的投资机构的认可。那另外一个其实千古不变的话题，我们一直在讨论，就是安全当你构建一种新的这种世界，数字世界以后，那数字世界里头它的所有的安全是怎么去保障它？那这个是我们近期一直在这个微软，包括我们在跟我们的生态伙伴一直在去不断持续再去探索的地方，我们也在找一些新的解决方案去做如果有一些很好的厂商，我也欢迎跟我们能产生一种合作我们一起来构建起来一个更健康、有序的这样非常好的生态，去帮助我们的企业的这种在区块链的应用里头去实现赋能。谢谢。
All right, thank you. I guess from a company perspective. From my point of view, I guess we are all kind of working towards a kind of like the Metaverse vision. So for example, Microsoft built a lot of developer tools, and the cloud, which actually hosts a lot of nodes from the permissionless infrastructure. So it's hard to say, like, I guess both big tech giants and startups will have a play in this metaverse world. Okay. All right, so I guess it's all my question today, and it's a great pleasure. I've learned a lot from you guys, and I hope the audience do as well. And again, thank you guys for a great conversation. Thanks.
Thanks.